All right, guys, we are live. This is the Scientist Mel after party, and there's just a few of us here so far. There's myself, and of course, David Worley from DRP Podcast, and we have the amazing Ocean Keltoy with us, because we have to have our token pagan along, and of course, our token science girl, Scientist Mel. We were discussing a little bit about the jokes we were having about the Faithless Forum thing, because I asked Mel in the original broadcast that if she was going to, or had planned, or would like to do a Faithless Forum, and she, of course, said yes. She noticed that Ocean was there, and we started talking about how we'd be taking notes about the behavioral tendencies of atheists or whatnot, right?
Yeah.
So,
I sent Neil an excerpt from my journal.
Yes.
Day 2 of Faithless Forum. The atheists haven't noticed that I'm religious. They drink similar amounts of alcohol to heathens.
Yes, that's what it was.
But do they dance outside naked under the moonlight? That's where it matters.
That's the thing that atheists don't seem to do. At least not as often.
Not as often. Does it require copious amounts of alcohol in a bonfire where there's food and,
I mean, for pagans it does. I don't know about atheists.
You know about atheists.
I have not danced naked under the moon with atheists yet. I'm sure that many of them wouldn't be opposed to the concept, but it's just never seen it happen currently. Yeah, see, like Neil's chill. He's into it.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'll
be certain you live stream that on YouTube.
Well, we'd get demonetized at least. We wouldn't be able to make any money on it.
First time ever a video was banned from YouTube.
Well, yeah, maybe just in your drawers or something. Dance around in your drawers, almost naked.
We dress up in socks in the appropriate places.
Oh God!
Like the Chili Peppers.
There you go.
Give it away now.
All right, so I'm gonna post the link to this hilarious discussion. So you can now.
Well, you did. Go on, Neil.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I got it already. I thought, oh shit, I might as well get one out there. Yeah.
I still love that. Did you see the photographic rendering that David did of you and me, Scientist Mel? I don't know if you can actually see it.
I retweeted it. Yeah, it was great.
I told him he forgot my facial hair.
His graphic skills are just amazing. They never cease to impress me and entertain.
Okay.
All right. You send them to either you or Rachel.
That's a great likeness.
Yeah, it is. It's very modern art and impressionistic, I think, in many ways.
I love how we don't have arms, just t-shirts.
Just t-shirts.
Yeah.
T-shirts are representative of the extension of our arms. That's what that is.
I like
that. Just really tiny T-Rex ones, and they're under the sleeve.
Maybe it's Mel and Neil. Maybe it's some bubblegum that has managed to find outfits and wear hair.
It's bubblegum that's cosplaying as us. I feel really, really, honored now.
There you go.
Yeah.
I think we've just invented an entire new thing. Bubblegum cosplay.
You go to the internet and see if it exists.
Get ready. Bazooka Joe's got outfits.
Yeah.
I have to say, there's a segment on my show on Is It Real or Nah, where on Oral Audacity, where Doc has to guess whether or not a product is real. I'm having a very hard time making up stuff that's utterly absurd that isn't already a product. I have spent hours just finding, surely this isn't a thing. Nope. Yep. There it is. Crap. Surely this isn't a thing. Nope. Yep. There it is. Crap. It's like, that's the majority of that.
It's not a controversy. Or what's not a conspiracy theory.
So like the last one was, there is, the last one that wasn't actually a thing. And he managed to catch himself before he messed up. There are beauty blogs that talk about sperm facials. That's a thing. Yes.
Here's the weird part. I've actually heard of that already.
Yes. But the question was,
I thought you were going to say you tried one.
But this is like for beauty purposes, Ocean. And here's the thing. I was trying to say that they managed to have a sperm facial serum that's bottled and you can sell that. I'm like, is that a thing? No. At first I was like, no, this is a thing, sperm facial thing.
The FDA would be mad.
Yeah, the FDA. So it's like no biohazards, antigens on your face, and all that. We're like, okay, but
that
everything
and farming
else,
the stuff would be a complicated process.
It's not really.
Well, it just logistically. I'm not talking about availability. I'm talking about logistically.
Well, isn't there a place? I'm trying to think. There's a country now that has a place to where you can go. Guys can go and do sperm deposits, like at train stations. They can just walk up.
It's Japan. I think
it's Japan, put their Johnson in, and then they make a deposit.
Oh yeah, it's like the weird blowjob machine thing.
Yeah, exactly.
It looks like, I don't know. It looks like a cyberpunk adventure in a very strange world that I don't want to be a part of.
I asked them how much they cost.
I was just like, yeah, exactly. It's like, wait a minute, hold on. Do I need to travel for this? I don't know. I don't think so.
Oh goodness! And then I sit there and I go like, how do they clean it afterwards? I'm just like really concerned about hygiene and people sticking their genitals into a random plastic machine. And I'm like, does it wash out the orifice later? I mean, those are like my questions. Like, how do you know that and is it smooth? I mean, is it silicone grade on the inside? I mean, that's pretty easy to clean. So my science brain is going through all that stuff. I'm like, I'm so worried about infections.
At least it's not like a single-use plastic. It does get some more use out of it.
Not a single-use plastic. How do you know they're not liners in there that you can remove?
Maybe they go together. Maybe it's like a collapsible unit. So you go in, and then after you deposit, you pull out the whole thing collapses and stores up. And like, okay, that's one. And then a new one inflates, like an inflatable balloon or something comes in.
Like those raincoats that fit into like a 1 centimeter cube that sort of like opens up. Do you mean?
Yeah, kind of like that. Have you ever seen like an automatic balloon machine where it fills a balloon? You know what I mean? It comes out. Okay, kind of like that. Yeah, like that, except so when I was younger, there was nothing to do around my neighborhood except go to the pizza joint and get balloons out of the balloon machine and suck on the helium. So
I do that at work with the helium tank.
But it's just it was like 50, it's like a quarter. You pop a quarter in and then you get this balloon. So I would imagine it'd be like that, where it's like an inflatable device on this end, or they could put their stuff in and then release, and then it the whole thing collapses to where maybe except maybe it's like latex or silicone. Probably latex. Latex would be easier, unless they have an allergy. That would be terrible. Can you imagine having an allergic reaction inside one of those things?
Okay, genuine question. Okay, genuine question.
I'm scared now.
Which Mel may or may not know the answer to. How do they relieve sexual tension in space?
I would imagine they just do what they do on Earth. They just masturbate. But I would think that if it was a guy, you would probably have some kind of device that would capture the end product, and then you could release it through the waste system within.
This means NASA has developed space toys that I don't know why they're not marketing.
Look out in the upper bunks.
Maybe
I just think that this is NASA's got all kinds of funding problems. They should just market sex toys for astronauts that are zero gravity compatible.
Well, I would think that we already have something similar on Earth called Fleshlight.
Right. But that's not which one is NASA approved? Which one can NASA get royalties by putting their little stamp of approval on?
I have no idea. That would be very complicated.
I'm thinking NASA, like the NASA symbol, except instead of that like little streak across it, it's a penis.
Yeah. Do you want something that'll really put you in orbit?
Yeah.
Lift off today.
That's their slogan.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Oh, and for anyone who knows, we were talking about how
I
helium.
wish NASA had the balls to do that.
Maybe a former astronaut can, who's close to retirement, or you would sit there and go, hey, when I was on the International Space Station, I need to get my jollies. This was a device developed by NASA technology, and maybe donate some of the proceeds to NASA. It's really hard to donate to NASA. That's because they can't have any kind of sway in what they research. If they start if it's like lobbyists, you know, they can't take money from large corporations. However, corporations can work in coordination with them on NASA's mission. And they do work with a lot of different universities to get like experiments up to the International Space Station. But financially, you can't like do a fundraiser for NASA. It's too freaking complicated. But you can donate to NOAA, National Oceanic and Aquatic Association, which works in coordination with NASA. And so some of that money can go over there because NOAA can give NASA money.
Well, there you go. So you can go like indirectly.
Yeah, you can indirectly donate to NASA by donating to NOAA. So yeah. I'm still waiting on my shell check. I haven't got it yet.
Me too. I know. They keep promising, but I haven't seen anything come in the mail.
I'm reading a weird article on Quora about this whole relieving sexual tension in space thing. And it's also addressing... Yeah, no, here we go. Let me just read this paragraph.
Oh, this should be fun.
Okay.
I don't... All right, I'm almost at the end of the article, but I'm already just like, okay. These mostly men are scientists that if on a short trip to space is up to a week, they likely forgo sex over that period of time, but they know that sex or masturbation increases, or that lack of sex or lack of masturbation increases the risk of prostate cancer, and how lack of sexual relief causes serious problems as well. There's no real privacy on a spaceship and not much on the space station, but speaking of ships that are out for weeks or months at a time, all men masturbate often and would do so together, often sitting side by side and not necessarily at the same time. But other functions of technology need to take up a place, and other bodily functions do as well. These scientists don't perceive masturbation as most American posters do, but they have no problem masturbating in front of another scientist. And since they know, just like in Germany, while ordinary citizens in the men's room one poll where there could be 50 men and boys, some relieving urine and others masturbating, and the scientists do the same. This is this very strange article. I don't know.
All in the name of science, though.
This is a Quora article. The author's name is Mark Keefe. He answered this question on January 28th of 2014.
Well,
Yep. I don't know what's going on.
So it's yeah, whatever. It's probably not a big deal. And they're probably like, very well familiar with each other anyway, because of all the training they have to do. So it might be a weird form of camaraderie, Oh, well, like we're hearing the loud music over there. We're just going to avoid that corner for, 5 minutes or whatever.
I'm just thinking of like 5 minutes. Surface tension of the result.
It's a long time.
Like floating around in this weird globule.
Well, I mean, you would probably have some capture device, I would think, to be able to.
I imagine it's similar for urine too. So, like they have the same like you would use the same capture device you use for urine for capturing.
Yeah, I would think. Yeah, probably like that.
The byproduct.
I mean, the ejectory device is it's the same process. Or similar enough, anyway.
Oh goodness! I'm so glad I'm not having dinner right now.
I've been trying. I've been putting it off. It's sitting there. Like,
my tapioca pudding doesn't look so good anymore.
See, this is the bit where Duke Bonanza turns up and takes the conversation back to reality. Something normal.
This is
oh my goodness.
I'm sorry. This came up and I just started going, all right, well, what do they do? Like, it's
just natural curiosity.
Well, just delete your browser history in a bit, Ocean, because I'm pretty certain you're going to have interesting, advertisements on Twitter and Facebook shortly. So,
right, exactly. Like, they just have strange pictures involving astronauts
in space.
Yes, no, that's in my search history now. That's there.
You know what, Mel? You should do a show on this.
I am going to start because I genuinely, I have problems getting like, is the product real or not? So I'm gonna put it out to my Twitter audience to say, guys, DM me product ideas because I'm at a loss. I'm totally at a loss. And also, I have a segment on what stupid people say on the internet. So send me your stupid tweets.
That's a never-ending subject.
I know. I should have y'all screenshot stuff and DM it to me. DM it to me so that way it doesn't ruin it for everybody else. And then I'll take the influx and we'll put it on the show.
What strange products have you looked at before?
Oh God.
Let's
see.
Like just so I have examples of what kind of things to look for.
Okay, so we agreed that there was, oh God, what was it, last Sunday? I have Karen, my little Animoji, comes up and explains, to Doc, and Doc has to guess if it's a real product or not. So we did the butt electronic thing. That's real. And where you put there's
okay.
a butt thing that you got to put on.
But electronic thing, like I knew what you were talking. What is this? I'm not unfamiliar with the product that you're describing. I feel like I need more information.
It's supposed to be for like an instrument for fitness, and it looks like a horseshoe, and each side goes on each cheek, and then it's like Bluetooth enabled, and it's electronic, and it shocks your butt.
It shocks your. Does that work?
It's like a Mr. Ho horseshoe.
Like does like shocking muscles? Does that actually do anything?
Not really.
That's what I figured.
You gotta squat, man. You gotta do the squats with the weights. So that was one. I looked up this past Sunday. One of the products was a crystal in a water bottle to harness all of the universe into it. So that's a thing. It's $84.
Well, that makes sense.
There's something like that here in my fucking province. This lady is passing. It's a water bottle that's got, first of all, it's the bottom section has got crystals and rocks in it, mineral rocks, we'll say, but it's completely separated from the water chamber. I'm like, okay, so how does that fucking work then? I mean, even if it could be a thing, which we know that rivers pick up minerals off of rocks and stuff as it travels. We know that, but you're not going to get that in a completely separated water bottle from the actual rocks themselves. So it's ridiculous.
Right. Let's see. Another thing, vaginal weightlifting. That was last Sunday.
I thought that the astronaut sex toys thing was weird, but now we're in like a whole new bit of territory.
Vaginal, and I can't actually find the product, but I know it exists. It's like one of those stupid jade eggs, but it has a hole in it so you can run a string through, put it up in your lady bits and attach it to a weight. There's a woman that walks around the beach hanging a surfboard hanging from it.
Get out of here.
What is the effect of this supposed to be? Like, what are they?
She's trying to strengthen her vaginal muscles.
Okay.
Go watch Audacity. It's that we show the video and everything. She's walking around with this surfboard hanging between her legs.
How did I miss that?
I guess here's the next question. Does it work?
No,
it doesn't. Okay.
It's
See, that's the problem with these things. Is it just winds up tearing you up?
We get these. I try to, and I have a hard time coming up with stuff that isn't real. It's a legit problem. I will sit there and look up stuff. And so another one was for vaginal toning that had sonic. It had sonic and heat. It was another insertion thing. Totally not a sex toy.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Totally not that. Might as well be. But it was $495. Supposed to tone, your vaginal muscles with sonic blasts and heat, and it happens to vibrate as well. So, but it's totally not.
I guess at least it's an enjoyable adventure.
But another one was a perfume on Sunday. It was a perfume called Floorgasm, and so it's a perfume called Floorgasm, and so happening? I was like, it's a. And so I thought maybe the name, Doc would be like, oh no, certainly there's not a perfume called Floorgasm that's supposed to attract a dude or opposite sex or whatever your same sex. I don't know. It's, so I saw Floorgasm. I'm like, I don't think of flower when I see that. So it's like it's supposed to be a floral scents that are supposed to, enhance your attractiveness to another person. And it's totally
so like an aphrodisiac or
kind of like that. It's a perfume. It's about 1.7 fluid ounces, which is less than a shot glass, for $165. You too can own Florgasm. And the picture is like this flower with ladyfingers all in it. And I'm like, oh my God.
That's not suggestive at all.
No. And they're missing their nail polish is chipped. So they've been very busy.
This stuff's so good it chips your nail polish, lady.
So it's just, oh my God. So yeah, stuff like that. I think, what was it? I can't remember the products from the previous week, but yeah, go check out. And the whole challenge. See, Doc, I get a lot of the content together, and he and I've already discussed. He just wants to show up, see what I got, and just rip on it. And so that's what I do. So I spend most of the time putting the content together. Bull runs the show. And so Doc will come in and I'll be like, okay, Doc, you ready for your challenge? He has no idea what the products are. So he'll come in and I'll be like, is there a perfume called Florgasm? And he's like, God, yes, probably. Yes. And then I'll show it and it's like $165. Oh my God. So Doc, who's a Scotsman, man. Oh my God. He's hilarious. He is good. Oh my God, he has the best insults and swears, and I just sit there. I'm just like,
well, they're the best because they come with that Scottish accent.
Yes.
Nobody can swear like the Scots.
I'm not immune to his riffing. He'll sit there, and we have a thing going where Karen is my little animoji who will talk about the products. She's like, okay, Doc, are you ready for your challenge? And he's like, oh God, it's this bitch. and then she flirts with him a bit, and he's like, why did you give her my phone number? So Karen has the hots for Doc now. And she won't leave him alone, so we're gonna just carry that through. So
There's some animated love going on here.
Is it there? Like she's gonna end up drunk like Courtney Love in my elevator 3 weeks from now, going, "But I'm glad you it's meant to be love." And I'm like, God, you're killing me, Doc. I'm just like, I cry with laughter every episode with it. I think that's probably my favorite show I'm doing right now because I hurt afterwards from laughing so hard. It's just a fun show.
I watched the show. It was hilarious.
Hey, welcome to the chat, IQ.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, it's vastly different from what I normally do on my channel, which tends to be more sciencey, fun sciencey stuff, and sometimes social issues. But this is just, as the Brits would say, taking the piss out of all of it. We just take the piss out of bad science, and so we just kind of go through it. It's fun. I
mean, you even did an episode based on one of my suggestions, which was beer and barbecue. So.
I did. I don't drink beer, but I can tell you what the best beer to go with what barbecue is based on the styles,
There you go.
I learned stuff, so it's awesome.
Now you've got me wanting barbecue.
I know, me. Oh man, don't even start.
I had that at lunch. It was nice.
The next time we're in Texas, Ocean, we have to go for Texas barbecue.
We didn't last time, did we? We were in Texas.
I know,
for a week. More than that,
and didn't go.
We didn't get any. Oh, I went to get some barbecue. I went with Eric and Rachel.
Did you?
Got some barbecue. Yeah.
Thanks for telling me.
Stop by a barbecue spot. I was out running around, happened to be with them, and Eric was like, "No, we have to go to this barbecue spot." It was very in the moment.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, okay.
So
I did have chicken and waffles for Jamie.
We went to
Neil
a place
had chicken
called
and
like
waffles.
Black Angus or something like that. I can't remember what it was called, but it was a good place.
We just going AFK for a second, just so I can actually eat.
We're talking about barbecue. You can talk about barbecue. There's some salivating discussion happening here.
Oh goodness!
Drool.
We'll get back to astronauts soon.
Oh my God!
And vaginal weightlifting.
Actually, it's okay because barbecue is all about chemical reactions. It's right on topic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, that's why I said that she took my suggestion. Well, not really took it, but I think I suggested that she do a beer and barbecue one. So
well, I mean, I
did.
My patrons, I always do whatever they like. If there's a topic, I'm like, okay, yeah, let's do that. So, that's the perk of being a patron. I get your stuff just for you. I'll do a whole episode just on that.
We should, or we like I have anything to do with your show other than being a patron. You should do an episode on music and how sound waves work. Like instruments, stuff like
that would be cool. There's also research linking
and then how it hits the brain.
Right. I was about to say Alzheimer's patients, those parts of the brain where they recognize music are unaffected by the disease. So that's why they're still able to play the piano or play the guitar if they were musically inclined previously.
I started learning about some of the basic science of music on the Commodore 64 when I was a kid, because you had to enter the actual sound frequencies into the programming. And I noticed that the higher octaves were always twice the number of cycles in the frequency than the lower octaves. So it just doubles each time. So this is a mathematical formula. So 440, you go to the next octave, it's 880 and so on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's some really cool things about music. It'd be very good for the science show.
Cool. I will toss that in. I'm still doing polls, but now that I have Bull who's running it, I have to be prepared a bit sooner. So I still get the show together. Like on the Saturday, I'll finish getting it together, and then I have to put it into a Google Drive, and Bull will pull it down like, okay, and it'll be like 5 minutes for the show. Mel, where are you? I'm like, I will be right there. I'm putting it in the drive. It'll be fine. And he's like, okay. I think he's getting used to. I just fly by the seat of my pants on the Saturdays, but like Oral Audacity is very heavily planned because Doc's involved, and then we have guests coming on. PZ is going to be on Sunday, and then Hannibal and Monty. We're talking to other people. Neil's going to come on sometime, so it's like we're just and then I do lots of research trying to find products that aren't real. So you guys send me your ideas.
I will do some research. I will look some stuff up for you because I already have a place where I know I'm going to go to.
Okay, DM it to me. So we want it to be a surprise. And people that watch the show live, I do have like Streamlabs points. So if you get it right, I'll put points on for the under Streamlabs. You can get points on there, loyalty points to get prizes. How fun is that?
Sweet.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to find weird shit that doesn't exist out there somewhere.
Oh my God. I know. I've managed to find, I think, 2 or 3 things for the next show that don't exist yet. And I'm like, but they sound real. They have to sound real, but they don't exist. That's what's hard. And so I'm hoping I can full doc this time. But PZ will be on there. So PZ will have stuff started. So I have 2 big brains coming at me, 2 biochem brains coming at me going, yeah, no, this can't be a thing. Like, crap. Okay. So it's a challenge for me too.
Well, I harken back to a couple of the radio DJs that were kind of popular here in the 80s called Larry and Willie. And they did a little sketch bit called the Nerf Crotch Bat, where you could run around and hit each other in the balls with a Nerf bat. It was like Nerf soft, but you get to hit each other in the crotch with it.
Oh,
so there's a fake product. And also, I remember a Mad magazine that I read one time that had funny products that were never, or something, I think it was titled. And there's a guy in his car, and he's driving along, and he's starting to sleep, but he's got this weird contraption on his head. And as soon as he starts nodding off, it sends an electrical volt through his spine and wakes him up, so he starts driving again.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Send me stuff like that because I'm having a really hard time. I spent probably 2 hours yesterday. I've got all the products for the show on Sunday. So that's set. I think I've got that all together. I have to make my little Karen videos and upload that. But we'll mostly be talking about what gets on PZ's nerves. I'm going to try to find a couple. Anybody has some fun Ken Ham videos, send them my way. We'll watch one.
They're all funny.
Check with Pelagia. I bet she's got a top 10 list.
I'll hit him up. I'll be like, what's your favorite Ken Ham videos, Pelagia? I want PZ to watch one and rip it apart. We do like a whole MST3K thing where we sit there and watch the video. Yeah, we did that with David Avocado Wolf when he was talking about scientism and grounding. We did that with Deepak Chopra when he was so proud of his paper and like his paper is utter trash. It's hot garbage, and this is why.
Well, Deepak Chopra does not like the word woo, but once he got desensitized to that, I think Sam Harris then said woo woo, and he got upset all over again.
Oh my god. He just but his fight with Brian Cox was just amazing on Twitter.
I have to see that.
Yeah, it's funny. Just Twitter search Professor Brian Cox, PRF Brian Cox, and Deepak Chopra, and then you'll get it's great.
Oh, yeah.
You are the universe. No, I'm not.
Brian Cox has a certain look on his face that I can see would really deeply annoy his adversaries.
Oh my god, it's so funny. But yeah, so and also send me your stupid tweets that people say. Make certain it's like a public tweet. Don't send me like a locked account tweet because I don't
do the one we were talking about today. You got to make that.
Okay.
Something.
Yes, I will. I'm going to screenshot that now. And see, Doc works in vaccines, and so we're going to do an anti-vaxxer episode. That was supposed to be the next one, but PZ's like, I'm available, and I'm like, sweet, we're going to do that one.
That's
PZ's pretty funny guy.
So let me screenshot this, and then I will put it in the thing, and we will save that.
It was a happy coincidence I sent the SJ video today. I had no idea you'll be on Neil's channel.
Oh, it's okay.
But it's just like this exact conversation about people's tweets, which I can't see anymore because I'm blocked, obviously.
Yeah. She, whatever. She's her own thing. So
yeah.
David, is it a camera deal or do you have like a high pressure sodium light like in your room? Because you are mega yellow.
See you guys.
Bye.
See you, Ocean.
I'll take it. No, it's actually just the light, just the way it is. I don't know. It's got a plastic cover over it, but it's not like
it's a gel.
It's white
all over it. It's a white light, but it's got a yellow gel.
Gotcha.
I think it might be style. I mean, this is slightly yellow. Like I don't think like it's not. Yeah. It's not white, but it's like a very pale yellow, like a battery farmed egg.
Yeah.
Like that pale. Yeah, it's not quite like a free range egg, but it's like a.
It's all the sodium salt. You're on fire, man, like fireworks.
Oh my goodness.
Another one of my favorite Brits just showed up in the chat. It's God the Good One. I was on. I popped into one of his streams earlier today, so. He showed up. He's like, hey, dude. And I'm like, hey. he's funny. He's awesome. If you don't know who he is, man, check out his videos because he's funny guy.
I end up staying up all night editing videos, and then I'm still up at like 7 a.m. when he's doing his like morning coffee run to McDonald's. Yeah. And he's like, yes. Oh, I'm going to bed. Okay.
You guys are like two ships passing in the night kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh goodness, that's funny.
What the hell did Randolph put there? He's saying that your yellow background is because of fireworks shit or something?
Oh boy. Oh, it was Treason Day recently. Happy Treason Day, Americans.
Treason Day. Oh, yeah, July 4th.
Hooray for Treason Day.
Happy Treason Day. All my British friends always send that to me. Happy Treason Day, Mel. Do you want the colonies back yet? Not with the current administration. No. Like, then y'all got Brexit going on. That's fun. That's a fun thing happening. It's like the whole world a hot mess. Oh man.
Yeah, we've had a bit of a lull at the minute because there's nothing to do until Boris gets elected, which he will.
Oh God, Boris. Funny thing, I landed in London the day that vote came out and actually went to one of the protests. I didn't speak because I felt like I didn't have a dog in the fight. I just want to be there to be supportive for the people who couldn't go to the protest. It was an educational experience. I ran into some of my friends. It was funny. Well, it wasn't funny. it was really upsetting for a lot of my friends when the Brexit vote came out. And so there's lots of consoling, and we just won't talk about it. So they're very British about it. We're just not going to talk about it. Let's just go into the pub, wait for the whole thing to blow over.
Well, God, the good one just said Brexit makes us sound interesting. So there you go.
Let's go to the pub. This whole thing will blow over soon. Like, okay. Go get a big old cider. Sit there and sip on it. Yeah.
I'm down for going to the pub. I'm always down for going to the pub.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, I have to get over to England again. It's been so long since I've been there.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have to sit in an English pub and drink lots and lots and lots of beer. So,
oh, boy.
We've got the
they have good ciders. I like the ciders.
Ciders are good. Some of them are good.
Mm-hmm. U.S. cider's crap.
Mimsy event coming up.
Come to Canada. We've got great cider here. Especially where I was just visiting my family in the Okanagan, and they have plenty of orchards, and they make all kinds of ciders. Everything from cherry to apple to peach to blueberry. So.
Oh my goodness.
And they're delicious.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know. They just don't have. There is a really nice Irish pub. It's like a traditional Irish pub in my town. And he imported in all of the furniture from Ireland. It's really nice woodwork. They have Mangers cider on tap. I'm like, God, okay. I guess I'll drink that.
I guess.
But the Scotch eggs are amazing. I will sit there and, if it's at lunchtime, they don't have it on the menu, but I've been there enough. They'll be like, can you please just make me 2 Scotch eggs? Just really, please. I know it's not on the menu, but will you just make it? It's perfect. They just come out perfect every time. I'm spoiled.
No, you're a preferred customer.
Sure, we'll call it.
We'll go with that.
Oh, goodness. And Tuesdays is buy 1 fish and chips, get 1 free. That's tomorrow. I haven't been in a while. I should totally go and have me a crappy cider and eat some really nice fish and chips.
Well, I highly recommend, if you're going to do fish and chips, go with the halibut over the cod.
Yes, I would agree with that. Halibut is better over cod.
It's delicious, man. I just had some recently, probably 3 weeks ago. We went to a little place here called the Cockney Kings, which is, I think, ranked number 1 in the Lower Mainland for fish and chips. I'm sure that's what it is. Is it, Randolph? You should know this. Randolph.
Sorry, I was sending a bunch of Ken Ham memes to Mel on Twitter.
Oh, God.
Private message. So you'll have lots of content for your video.
Fantastic. See, I have to turn off my notifications on that one. I had like 400 ats in one day. I'm like, oh no, I don't have the notifications on. Oh, I don't know if that's like a good thing. But so people just be tagging me and did you see this? And I'm like, okay, yes, I have now. Don't know if I ever want to again, but thank you.
I don't look at my notifications anymore. I just the messages like to watch Neil's channel and a couple others that were chats, but other than that, I mostly just look in Twitter for the most recent stuff to me, and that's it.
Oh my goodness!
So I don't miss replies and whatnot.
Yeah,
Twitter doesn't catch everything, it seems.
No, it doesn't. I often miss my mentions. I don't get them on. Like, people, please use my hashtag if you have something important to say, or if you need to get me right away. Just DM me. Because I might not see what you've had to say. So
yeah, I think you allow DMs too, even if you're not following you, correct?
Yes, I do. So it's always fun to get the sugar daddy proposals. So
I haven't got any of them yet.
I will send you. I'll send you mine.
Sure, I sent you one, Dave.
Over the years, I've set up a few female troll accounts, and they get all these proposals. The male ones never do.
Oh, he sent me his phone number, DRP. You want me to send it to you? You can call him. Be like, I'm interested in you being my sugar daddy. Give me $400 a week and pay my bills. I'll send you pictures of a woman if you want.
On a real sugar daddy will send $4,000 a week.
Oh God, I did have a response.
Yeah. Oh, Matt, have you heard of? Oh, sorry, go for it.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was going to say, have you heard of a comedian called James Veitch?
No, I haven't.
Okay, he does these occasional talks now and again where he'll demonstrate when he is having these back and forth conversations with these like Nigerian scammers and things from emails, and he just trolls them. So his idea is that he takes up their time so that they're not actually spending their time with real people taking their money, kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah. No. I think I have heard that he made he made videos of that, right? Of him sitting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's loads
about it.
Yeah.
I'm trying. Oh, here's my sugar daddy. Okay, this is what he said. I'll read this here. I actually posted this on Twitter with my response, just for fun. He goes, "Hello, sexy. I'm Mark. I won't say his last name. You give me his whole last name and his phone number. I was going through your profile, and you look like someone with an amazing personality. Let's have some good conversation and pleasure. I'm also willing to support you financially or any way I can. Call me sugar daddy. I'm looking for an honest sugar baby. I'm setting up an allowance of $400 weekly and also pay off all your utilities bills. And I'd love to know if you're interested. You can reach me on, here's my phone number." And I'm like, that's certainly not cut and pasted. I feel particularly special. And so this is what I had to say. I said, "Hello, I appreciate your interest. I must tell you that I have an application process. It also requires references from previous months. I need proof of satisfaction with the arrangement. I also require university transcripts. In addition to current employment statuses, $400 a week can become a burden if your current salary is not high enough. I am not a predatory bank and do not wish to engage in an arrangement that would financially cripple a person. I am ethical. If this is too much, you can always show support for my work through patreon.com/scientismel and reap all the benefits available for your preferred financial tier. Kind regards, Scientist Mel." And then
That's a perfect response. That's excellent. So professional.
And he goes, "Will you be my sugar baby?" And I say, "I defer to the previous message."
They didn't read it.
Even plugged your Patreon in the process. That's brilliant.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's important.
Yeah, I will do whatever science video you want. I do have a single $100 patron, which I'm just like, "Can I give you things?" It's like, "Nope." I'm like, "Can I do something?" "No." "Do you want to hang out on a Google Hangout?" "Nope." "Just keep doing." And I'm like, "Okay, thank you."
That's cool.
It is cool. They support just to support.
Those are good people.
They are.
Yeah.
And
there's a few of them. Yeah. They're out there, and that's all they want to do is support content that actually spreads positivity and education and stuff like that. They're all out there, man. They're philanthropists in a way. So
yeah. So yeah, and I'm like, okay, that's cool, man.
Wish I had lots of money to throw around. I'd support lots of people. Yeah. So I'm running like the Twitter lists instead that I'm putting people in, and some of them are picking up subscribers now, which is kind of interesting.
Well, that's
cool. That also helps, dude. So keep that shit up.
Oh yeah, thank you. I will. Actually, Scientist Mel was one of the first ones I added to the science list.
Aw, thank you.
Yeah.
I guess Oral Audacity. I don't know. Oral Audacity is such a different show than I'm used to. I'm still trying to feel it out. I'm like, how do people feel about it? But it's meant to be
great.
fun. So you
interesting
like
name.
Yeah, I told you it's funny. It's a change from what you normally do, yet you're still including scientific stuff. We'll say, so for lack of a better word. So it's great. It's got a great humor twist to it all.
Supporting content creators on YouTube is probably one of the best things a philanthropist can do for society. Seriously, your average person isn't at university. The people who are going to college are the people that are going to be the professors. Your average person is sitting back. They got their microwave chicken strips and they throw on YouTube. And the majority of the population of the world is scientifically illiterate, and the only way to change that is to grassroots and hit where most people are going to watch, and that's all the YouTube content creator. That's what you're doing, Mel. That's, everybody's watching people like you. They're not going to college. a lot of people are in college, but your average person just sits back and watches YouTube.
That's because college is expensive and YouTube is free.
Oh God, yes it is.
Indeed.
Don't even get me talking about my loan. There, I saw a meme. Some girls want diamonds. I just want a cabin in the woods with a thing. I'm like, and my student loans paid.
Yeah.
Pay my. It's more than my house. I owe more in my student loans than I do in my house, man.
A cabin in the woods with a chemistry lab.
You know, just give me a little distillery. I'll be all right.
That's all you need.
Just
it's still science, my friend. It's still science.
You know,
I was brewing my own beer for a while. It's delicious fun.
Oh yeah, that's a good way to put it.
See, I'd be like making vodka or whiskey or moose.
You need patience. You need patience because if you want, because I don't drink like thin beers. I like the doubles and the triples and the barley wines and the IPAs and just the Trappist ales and the shit that you can spread on toast. Like I love deep dark fucking beers. And it takes a long time to brew those damn things. Like, it's not a lager where you just kind of, it's chill brewed and it's ready in 2 weeks. Oh yeah, got some beer. No, fuck it. No, this shit takes like 2 months, 3 months. I brewed a quadruple Trappist ale that had to ferment for a year.
Wow.
Oh, it was delicious. Yeah, 13.7%.
Oh my goodness.
Fuck, it might as well have been wine.
See, I can't drink beer. I wish I could. I can't do it. I can drink just about everything else though. I can't drink
including
beer.
rubbing alcohol.
I wouldn't do that.
I tried some when I was younger. It just tastes like shit, and I spit it out everywhere. But
well, I'm glad.
So I said, "Oh yeah, you drink this stuff, you'll get drunk right away." And I'm like, "Oh yeah." And I tried a mouthful, and I swallowed a little bit. I'm like, "Oh my god!" Just spit it out everywhere. It's terrible. It felt like crap afterwards.
Oh God, that's terrible. No. Yeah. I had lots of vodka on July 4th. Lots of vodka. And then
vodka is the tofu of alcohol because you need to flavor it with something.
It's I have lots of different flavors, but I have that my show Spirited Science that I do. Well, I'll come up with a cocktail associated with the science. I think I have some interest in somebody wanting to do Rosalind Franklin, and so I'm going to get that together. So I have to get a Rosalind Franklin drink together. So tossing that around in my head, but yeah, man, vodka. I had a lot of vodka on, and then I had to apologize. I had to send apology texts to friends. I'm sorry I called you. I'm sorry I texted you. And they're like, no, it's fine. We had apparently I had an entire conversation with somebody, and I'm like, what did I say? It was nothing weird. It was just like what we always talk about, except you were way gigglier and just like bouncy. And I'm like, okay, thank you.
It happens to me on New Year's. I'll send out all kinds of texts and phone calls, and then people are like, "Do you remember calling me at like 3 a.m, wishing me Happy New Year?" No. Sorry.
I just called the one person, but then I texted like 4 people, like "Happy Treason Day, guys!"
Treason Day, I love that.
Here we go. And I text Doc Savage. I'm like, here's a meme of like Scottish people. Like, what do you call, they have a whole day where they grill meat and blow up stuff, and drink. Like, what's a Scotsman call it? Wednesday. I'm like, oh, this is so funny. I was send it to him. And I had to bash him. I'm sorry. I was quite inebriated on potato-based ethanol.
Ooh.
So, that's vodka. I was trying to be sciencey. I'm like, I'm sorry. And he's like, that's totally fine. You're having fun.
Oh man, potato-based ethanol. I should try that in my gas. See how it works.
Oh Lord, yeah. I hadn't touched any alcohol since Thursday. I'm like, no, not till next weekend, man.
Yeah. Give yourself some recovery time.
That was half of Friday.
Just play with helium. Make your voice all high. Oh, what is it? Sulfur. What's the other? Sulfur something or other. Hexafluoride, I think, that can make your voice go low.
Oh,
it'll make it deeper. Yeah, I think it's sulfur hexafluoride. But yeah, the only difference is helium is fairly harmless if you're using it as to raise your voice. You can do that till the cows come home, and you'll probably be fine. But sulfur hexafluoride, do it once or twice, and then stop inhaling that shit because it could probably give you brain damage of some sort. So
yeah, it walks the line of huffing, doesn't it?
Yeah, pretty close. Yeah.
I was gonna mention the nitrous because that will lower your voice. You're not gonna notice it for a minute or so. But
I never noticed that.
Well, I mean, they call it hippie crack, right? You got the balloon or the little nitrous cracker thing, and you huff it, and I don't know if it's just your voice sounds really weird to you, just because of the obvious euphoria that you're experiencing, but it'll lower your voice just for a few seconds, and then you have to deal with the whumps after that.
Isn't nitrous a propellant? And it's often like in whipped cream cans.
Yep.
Yeah, it's considered a pretty non-toxic propellant in a lot of things.
Yep. Actually, I think they also use that in Guinness cans.
Oh,
that little ball that they put in there. That's just
because it's
very
nitrogen
thin, and then when you depressurize the can, it blows up and it chills and froths up your can in the process.
It's nitrogen infused, is why. So nitrous oxide would make sense in a Guinness can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so sulfur hexafluoride is an inert gas. Mm-hmm. It is 6 times heavier than the air we breathe, just so you know. And but it does have traces of hydrogen fluoride and fluorine, so that's why it can be quite toxic if you have too much.
I see.
So
yeah, and also you breathe some in. Boy, my lungs feel heavy today. A heavier gas than what I normally breathe. I gained about a half a gram.
Sexy voice. We should start doing ASMR like that.
I love ASMR. Oh my god, I love ASMR. The French Whisper. I listen to it at night on my Calm app. I'll play him sometimes.
I dig the ones that like read stories and stuff.
Do you have the Calm app too? I have it, and they like read stories to me. And there's a French dude who talks about Atlantis, and I'm like, all right, this is cool. I can't go to sleep while he's talking about relativity because it's far too interesting for me.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I always pick the stuff that like if I'm having trouble sleeping, I might tune into a couple of different artists, but I like the ones that read stories or tell stories or whatever. So because it's the whispering voice, it just reminds me of a babysitter that I had when I was a kid that was able to put me to sleep with stories all the time. So
Stephen Fry does one on called it's a lot something to do with lavender fields over in in France or something. I'll sit there listen to Stephen Fry talk about lavender fields, and he gets softer and softer and softer. Like it works out. It's nice.
Stephen Fry ASMR. I never thought I'd hear those two things together.
Here, I'll play just a section for you so you don't get yelled at by YouTube. I'm pulling up my right now. So here.
Video's already been flagged. Don't worry. The whole channel's not going to get monetized.
Yeah, no, I'm not even concerned about it, anyways.
Let's see. That's not good either. Non-fiction nature. Where's Stephen Fry? Oh, Blue Gold. Here we go.
For tonight's sleep story, we travel to the south of France. I'm Stephen Fry, and I'll be your guide
to sleep now.
As we meander lazily through the lavender fields and sleepy villages of Provence.
Sorry.
The story was written by Atheist.
See, I'm ready to go to sleep now.
We have to stop.
It's only 6 p.m.
We are totally playing that next time Badger's on one of these streams.
Right.
Wait, doesn't he use us as ASMR for him? we could market that to badgers.
Oh my goodness.
But Seth Andrews did a podcast on ASMR, and it was a great show. But he had mentioned, I was thinking about doing that, but I don't know what I'd do. And I'm like, Seth, you could fucking read Mother Goose rhymes, and people would get into this shit. We're talking about Seth Andrews' voice. He talks about Doritos, and it puts people to sleep.
But it's different if he was whispering, right? He doesn't have that.
Here's the one that I do.
Good evening. Tonight's ASMR sleep story takes us to the frontier of history and legend. I am the French Whisperer, and we are about to embark on a voyage to the mysteries of the mythical lost continent, Atlantis. Maybe.
Yeah. So when he talks about relativity, I can't go to sleep. But when he talks about Atlantis, it just knocks me right out. It's great.
Oh man, Atlantis. There's an interesting. Do you really think there ever was a place, or?
If it was, it wasn't like what all the mythos says it was.
Yeah, that's what I think
it's
too.
Like a little island that had cool stuff on it. Sometimes, I guess, just
Maybe.
Like everything else in history. This island had cool stuff on it. Here it is. Okay.
I'm sure there's lots of little areas that got lost in time due to earthquakes or flooding or whatever that we still haven't come across. Because they find all kinds of cool, neat shit that they never knew about before. It keeps popping up and altering our history little bits at a time. But I think, like if you watch the Disney movie, they didn't have flying stone machines, people. Okay, so don't worry about that. Although it's fun to watch.
I thought I might have heard from, I can't remember where, that Atlantis is like just a made-up city, like
it's possible.
Hogsmeade or something like that.
Yeah,
like,
maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows? They could have been just legends told by was it Plato that mentioned that shit?
Yeah, I think it's mentioned by Plato at some point. Atlantis is.
Yeah. And it could just be a story.
It might just be a story. I'm still personally upset that the libraries of Alexandria are gone.
Yeah.
I'm still angry.
Imagine the shit that was in there. That would be brilliant if we were able to somehow resurrect that sort of thing.
Jeez.
I think that set us back just about as bad as when Islam outlawed mathematics. They were the high point of scientific and mathematical society when Islam made it a complete crime.
Not Islam,
to deal in numbers.
Yeah, fundamentally.
They were still doing it while Islam was there. But it's when the crazy bastards with the fundamentalist belief systems put a kibosh to all that shit. Because
I have to say, if you want to get terrified, watch The Handmaid's Tale. I'm on the first season, and I'm just sitting there like, oh my god. I would have been one of the ones they shot first or been put into servitude if I wasn't already married to a commander wearing a blue dress, but still, all the fertile women, they just started. I'm like, oh my god, this is horrible. This is horrible. It's utterly frightening to watch that show. As an educated woman, seeing what happens to educated women in that society, I'm like, this is too real right now. This is really too real.
Does it not seem like it's echoing some of the shit that's going on down there right now?
I know. That woman who was brought up on charges for somebody shooting her baby.
Oh my god.
I'm like, that I get so ragey, and
how does that even make any fucking sense?
She should have known better than to start a fight. It's just I'm so sick of the victim blaming. It's always men's fault in just about every scenario. You're like, you shouldn't have gotten him angry at you. It was your fault for raising your voice first. Well,
you guys were made from a rib, so you are always going to be. Fuck off, you fucking.
God, man, it's hard to not be ragey constantly.
Right.
It's like the Hulk. That's my secret. I'm always angry. I'm like, that's kind of how. I am always angry. I just don't let it out all the time. You know?
I'm sorry, but that smile of yours does not tell me you are always angry.
How do you know it's not like a Hannibal smile?
Fair enough.
Do you still hear the lambs?
People react to anger differently. That smile can just be a safeguard mechanism.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the lucky ones have it.
It's okay. So, as an aside, when I was on one particular channel about a rapist, and we were prior to going on live stream, there were rape jokes that were made, and I just sat there and smiled, and I'm like, okay, I'm actually a survivor, and they knew that, and they still made these rape jokes prior to and after the live stream, and I'm sitting there and I'm just smiling, I'm like, okay. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go out and rape some more people too. I'm gonna just go raping just like everybody else, right? You know, so I just was sitting there smiling, trying to keep my composure when I really just kind of wanted to go right in. But I after that I said I am never gonna be on this show again, and these are the reasons. And I was very vocal about it. And then you know, that's where I saw the brakes coming off of that train, and they ended up having a head-on collision and falling apart anyway. A few months later, I'm like, called it.
Not a big surprise there.
I saw that train wreck coming back in March, but that's all right. No, you know, it's all good. We grow and learn. Hopefully that's happened now.
Like, how could rape jokes even be considered to be funny?
Yeah, I don't even know. Rape jokes and rape comments, and you know, then the apologetics for the said comments. Oh well, they really meant this. Did they though? Doesn't matter. You know, why are you apologizing and being apologetic for this in support of the comments? And then I see the same people saying the comments about the host, and they're like, "How dare you say stuff like this about me?" I'm like, I have no sympathy whatsoever now.
Any humor that wants people to enjoy people getting hurt, I don't care for. Like, I remember in the early days of the internet, there are videos full of cats and fat people falling down, and when people are falling and getting hurt, you know, they need help instead of some idiot to stand there with a video and laugh at them. It's people are nasty.
They really are. They really are. I just, you know, it's kind of like with growing up where I am in the South, you always leave a place better than when you got there. So because everybody knew each other, because we were talking on Neil's channel, I grew up in a very small town. If I went to somebody's house and it was messy, and even if I didn't make the mess, if I didn't help clean it up, my mama would find out, and then my ass would be tore up like the next day. Why did you? I heard you left a mess there. I'm like, it doesn't matter. You must set the example, be the better person. So that's how I was always brought up. You leave a place nicer than when you got there. And so that's just kind of part of my nature.
And that's how society functions well, when everybody participates in trying to keep things in good condition.
Right. You know, there's nothing wrong with just being kind. If you can't contribute to solving the problem, don't make it worse.
Yeah.
Just, at least don't make it worse. You know?
Yeah.
So it's just, I don't know. I try to help, but if I can't help and I know I can't help, I just try to not make it worse and just like offer kind words, you know. That's just easier. Way easier just to do that than be angry and yell at
a lot of people lack empathy. Just we're almost taught to not have empathy just because it's, you know, so much tribalism that is just ingrained in everything. You know, tribalism is kind of snuck into like almost everything in our society.
Sorry, dude. Tribalism's been with us from day one.
Yeah, but it's sneaky. It's kind of like the sugar that they put in the buns at McDonald's, you know, just to keep you coming back. It's you know, with sports, with everything is an us and them mentality, and then if you've never had to deal with a rape, if you've never known anybody that's been affected by it, it's kind of that other thing that, it's tragic. Of course, you can know that hurts people, but you've never seen the emotion that is brought upon somebody by this tragedy happening to them. So it's just kind of this thing that you can just joke about because it's so terrible, and you want to show everybody how terrible of a person you are, and that it doesn't affect you, and that you can smile about something so terrible. And it's awful. It's awful
There are
to
people
lack
who
empathy like that.
There are people who do use humor to cope with it, though, too. My dad's an amputee, and he decided very early on he's going to be one of those people who makes jokes about it. Like, he'll tell stories about how he lost his leg. He was lost in a motorcycle accident. A car ran him off the road and into a telephone pole, but the stories he'll make up are like he was working in an alligator farm and he's carrying the food on a plank and there was blood there and it was slippery and he fell in and his coworkers pulled him out. He tells the stories so well that when he finally tells people the truth after telling 3 or 4 of these stories, nobody believes the truth. They like the stories better. So it's dark humor. Dark humor has a place, but I think if it's used to kind of marginalize people who have suffered an actual trauma and obviously aren't coping with it very well, and there's a matter of appropriateness too.
Right. Well, I think also if you're the person who's had it happen to you and you're initiating that dialogue, that's vastly different than knowing that you're a person, or like if I were to sit there and make amputee jokes around your dad, and
he'd laugh at them, but yeah,
I know. But if I didn't know your dad or somebody else like that, that's why like white people can't say the N-word. That is not our word, because that was used as like a.
You mean the word nigger? Okay, so my dad is he actually helps people who are new amputees. He does it part of a nonprofit organization that helps motorcyclists, and he doesn't bring on the humor when they're dealing with that stuff. He's really serious in helping them out with things, and it's only later, I guess, outside of that kind of context. So your point about appropriateness, I think, is bang on.
And I think it's really important to recognize there are certain things that I don't want ownership of. I don't want to use a language or a word or something that's been actively used to hurt another person. So I don't even want that anywhere in my, orbit. But if somebody else is using that to try to repurpose it to where they can regain some personal power, that's a bit different, I feel. And I think, that's up to that individual that you're with. So even if I felt like I was okay telling rape jokes or sexual assault jokes, I would never do that around another victim because I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's it, because people are like, that's so PC. I'm like, no, it's just being a decent human. It's just courtesy. It's politeness. It's just, did you not learn manners? So I mean, it's just kind of opening the door for somebody. That's manners. I do it for men. I do it for women. I do it for old ladies, women. It doesn't, and I allow somebody else to do it for me. Well, thank you so much. And then I'll get the next door. Here you go. I mean, it's just politeness, man.
It's the political correctness pundits who take things way too far and make a mess of things and interfere with the ability to communicate clearly or be nice to each other.
Yep.
I mean, just freaking be kind, man. If you can't say something nice, just don't say nothing at all. It's the only thing I ever learned from Bambi, and I will never watch that film again because I'm entirely too sensitive.
Bambi?
Yes. I can't watch that or like really intense horror films. I cry in horror films. I cried at the remake of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, just bawling in the theater, and people thought I was nuts. I'm like, do you not see what's happening to these people?
When I was in elementary school, I think I was grade 5, I snuck into downstairs, the basement area. There was a room where a bunch of older students were watching Friday the 13th. And I snuck in and watched pretty much the whole movie, and they didn't realize I was there till near the end, and it spooked them more than the movie. I was just sitting there quietly.
I can't watch certain things. I'm entirely too sensitive, and I've watched Up exactly one time, and I'm like, I'm done with Pixar. Screw you, Pixar. I'm going home. I can't watch any more Pixar films. I can't do it. I will watch Miyazaki films, but I can't watch Pixar films. Toy Story 4, don't care. We'll never see it. Nope. Thank you, no. Don't want to know. Hadn't seen 3. Don't care. I'm not gonna watch it. No.
What are your thoughts on Pulp Fiction? I just got to know.
Pulp Fiction, the Tarantino film.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have seen it 2 times. That's the only Tarantino film I like. I hate everything else he's done, and I've tried to like it. I've watched.
Repo Man was pretty good. Come on.
The what?
Repo Man with Emilio Estevez. That was pretty. Oh, wait a sec. That wasn't Tarantino.
That's not Tarantino, dude.
That's somebody else. So.
Yeah, that's not.
I haven't seen Repo Man.
I haven't either. I've seen every Tarantino film because I genuinely try to understand why a thing is popular. Like, I've seen every Game of Thrones episode and I hate the series, but I can be informed on my hatred.
I've been recommending movies like Pulp Fiction to people I know who are learning English so that they can get a better handle on idioms and things that show up in modern culture, because those kind of movies are quite influential on our culture and the way we talk and the jokes we make sometimes. And it has been helpful to quite a few of them that suddenly a lot of things make more sense.
And they'll know to run when they hear the word GIMP.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
You're coming close to losing your LA privileges.
Oh goodness. That's so funny. You guys are a hot mess.
Dude, I'm just trying to think. You got me bothered by the Repo Man thing. Was that not directed by Alex Cox?
Yes, that's the name.
Okay. All right.
Oh goodness. That's
that
funny.
was, neat thing about that movie, if you look, there's no name brands on any of the products. Like, they open the fridge and they pull out the milk and it's a white carton with the black word milk on it. That's it.
Yeah.
A lot of interesting things about that movie.
He does that with most of the stuff he does. He doesn't do the product placement.
Okay. I just, as an aside, I'm really upset that Marvel is leaving Netflix because I really liked Jessica Jones and Daredevil and
Luke too.
Cage and The Punisher. God, The Punisher was amazing.
So
we don't
well
have
done.
it. I was like, and I just finished Jessica Jones last season today. I'm like, oh God, they killed.
Yeah, which is weird because they said they weren't going to do a season 3.
I know, but oh my goodness, that was just, I felt like Jessica Jones. If you want to know what it's like to see a person who has PTSD or any kind of anxiety associated with like an assault, watch that first season.
Oh yeah.
Because it was there's a lot of coping mechanisms there that she has in place to try to deal with the fact that this man was controlling her. And
Mr.
What show is this?
Jessica Jones on Netflix, the first season, if you want to kind of see. And that hit a bit kind of home on me a bit. I'm like, I'm having a hard time watching this a little bit. It's like, you're going to go through here. One of the things that I had to do was, and she goes through and she'll think of her childhood streets. And that's how she kind of centers herself again when she starts to spiral. Because I have crippling anxiety. And I've been very vocal about that because I try to normalize it. Just about everybody has something. Now, mine's not. Yeah. It's managed and it's manageable, and I don't have huge issues. But when I start to spiral, I have to get into a different mindset. You have to force your brain not to think, "Oh, I'm in trouble and I'm in danger," because that's literally what's happening with an anxiety attack. Your body starts to think, "Oh, I'm in danger," and there's nothing. If it goes full on, it's a problem. So she starts naming all of the streets around her childhood home as a means to kind of center her. Mine was, I'm sitting in the Natural History Museum in London. There are these sounds around me. This is what it smells like. This is the part of the museum that I'm in. This part is quiet. These are the different exhibits around me. This is what it reads. These are the colors. So the idea is to try to get as many different senses in your memory to focus on a place. That's my favorite place in the world. I love it. And I've memorized it like the back of my hand. And so I can say, okay, now I'm in the giant sloth room. There's the mesosaurs on this side. There's the sloth over here. It's about 8 feet tall. It's the bones. And this is what it says on the plaque. There's kids in the background. I can smell this down from the cafe. So to try to center yourself, the more senses that you use, the more you can kind of ground and center in the moment and not kind of fall into that hot mess or awfulness of things. So she's going through all that. I'm like, yeah, I know what that is.
Yeah.
So,
It's actually, I think it's the Jessica Jones series, in my opinion, is one of the better ones of all of them.
It's really, really great. And this past season was pretty good, and I hated the last
one. Mute yourself. Yeah, there you go. BBA is always jumping in at the end of these things for some reason. I don't know where you're.
Okay, that's okay. But yeah, so.
Yeah, let me know when you guys are over anywhere within London, and I'll make sure I'm there, whether you want me there or not.
Okay.
Okay. We're not gonna tell them.
Classic DRP.
I can offer you ciders.
Ciders, yes. You know, you can have your own scientist take you through the Natural History Museum in London.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I need you to bring around.
Their treasures exhibit's amazing. They have wonderful pieces that are the favorite pieces of the museum. And there's like a first edition of The Origin of the Species by Charles Darwin. I cried when I saw that. I'm like, oh my God. The first edition. I believe it was signed. They have several, and then they have to pull them out and put them back in storage and put this one up for display. But it's just awesome. It's so awesome. I love it. I just
recently didn't realize the show existed until literally within the last year. That Mysteries at the Museum, where they talk about pieces and they do the whole story behind them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen that? Because it's a fantastic show.
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it yet. I do actually have a DVD of sorts where they talk about the different things. I think that's probably what that is. It'll only play on, I think it'll play on my Xbox. But it's encoded with the UK coding because I was stupid and didn't. I assumed it was Blu-ray. I'm like, oh, Blu-ray, okay. You're like, no, it's not. I think it plays on my laptop though, so my old one.
Should. It should play in your gaming systems and your laptop, but you're not going to have it play in a regular DVD player here.
Oh no,
unfortunately, unless it's comes with the availability to do the decoding.
Yeah,
some of the new ones do.
Yeah, so. That's all right. Everybody's going to Blu-ray anyway, so.
Blu-ray. I haven't bought a Blu-ray or a DVD in years, man. I just download or find streaming sites. I don't need any of that crap.
Just there's people who don't like Sony because of the RIAA stuff that they fund and trying to ruin our copyright laws and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, hi Nadine. Nadine just popped in. Oh, and Sassy. Hi, Sassy. Well, guys, I'm going to wrap it up because I have elsewhere to be. Another reason why I decided to do this a couple of hours earlier is because now that I'm home, my mom keeps bugging me and she wants to see me. So,
go see your mom.
Head over there, yeah.
We'll see you on Wednesday for blood donation.
You betcha. Yep, that's it. And I'll be on Hammered Out with Ocean and Cirrus this coming Thursday. So
Yay.
I'll be up there with those
what
guys.
What kind of hammer are you going to bring to the show?
I'm not touching that one. I'm not touching that one. It's like you're setting me up for something, and I ain't going near it.
No,
anyway,
I didn't mean to.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Sure you didn't.
Mel, before we go, I have to ask you, did I miss your sing-along? Whatever happened with that? Because I was real excited about singing some Al Green.
Okay, so what I had to do with that, Robert Reed is taking the reins on that because he has somebody who can help. Because, like I was telling Neil before, I had been this past Thursday was the first day in a week that I wasn't on a show or doing my own thing, and I just had no time to prepare. So he's organizing that, working with somebody at a radio station to see if we can't just schedule it for another date because I am just really overwhelmed right now. I still have a collab I have to do for Beelzebub that I promised I'd do last Monday, and I haven't. So I'm sorry, Beelzebub. I promise I'm worth my word, and I'll get it done. It's just He's
a patient guy.
He is. I've just been slammed, and so hopefully Robert Reed, RC Reed, I think is who he is on Twitter. He's just he's like, I'm just gonna take it over. Like, hey, let me know. He said I have somebody who works in this sort of thing anyway, so she's gonna organize it. And I said just give me a date. So I rely heavily on the kindness of others. So So I'm like, he's gonna handle that, because I'm trying, and I've got a new job coming up soon. I can't talk about my work. I got a new job coming up, so I've got that going. So it's exciting.
Awesome.
We'll see how it goes.
And Zach, sorry you didn't really get a word in edgewise, buddy, but you kind of showed up at the end. So
yeah, I just saw that y'all were live like a couple hours earlier than I was expecting, so I figured I'd just hop in for a second.
Oh yeah, no worries. Well, why don't you let me just say something quick, and I'll let you do my outro. How's that?
I mean, I'm kind of walking on a main road, but
yeah, so
that's why you could hear the cars.
Well, yeah, I kind of figured, but anyway, thanks Mel again for doing the chat with me earlier, and for hanging out with us today in the after party. Thanks to Randolph and IQ and David for jumping in here, and also to Ocean, who was in here earlier. And again, I'll be with him and Cyrus this coming Thursday. I think it's 6 p.m. Pacific for a Hammered Out episode. And well, Zach, you know what I always say at the end of these things. So why don't you do my my outro thing?
This was fun. Thanks.
Yeah, no worries.
Especially like the technical terminology describing the alcohol lid with chemistry and whatnot.
Do you remember what I say, Zach, or what?
I'm kind of waiting for these cars.
Yeah, no worries.
Oh my
well, I guess what he says is it's not faith because it's not knowledge. So
it's called faith because it's not knowledge. Yeah.
Close enough.
Perfect. Yeah, good enough. All right, you guys, we're gonna run this one into the ground here, and then I'm gonna go and see my mom before I get in trouble.